What's up, everybody? Alfred Flores, CEO, President of New Age Electric. I have been out for the past couple weeks with COVID, and I can talk, and I'm just doing a whole lot better. And if I haven't responded to anybody, I apologize, but I'm getting through all the emails and comments and whatnot. So today we're going to do something very basic in the whoops, what was that about? Sorry about that. We're going to do something very basic, and it is Article 200, Use and Identification of Grounded Conductors. Now, if you're not aware, in the book, they call the neutral a neutral in here, but they also call it the grounded conductor. So, in particular in Chicago, we're looking at this section right here. 200.5 color code of grounded branch circuit and grounded branch circuit conductors. So in here, they're stating that the grounded branch circuit, grounded feeder circuit conductors shall be identified in accordance with either 200.5 A or B. Now, A or B is 150 volts to ground or less, which is your standard, 120 volt circuits. And then if you're doing anything over 150 volts, which could be, 220, 240, 270, they want that grounded conductor to be different. So 150 to ground or less, they want a continuous white outer finish. Over 150 volts, they want a continuous gray outer finish. So it's really strange. Like I said, Chicago does their own little things, but even though this states it here, they also tell you there's a means of identifying grounded conductors, and it tells you for like a number 6 or smaller, so 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, the insulated grounded conductors or a number 6 shall be identified by one of the following means. They also stated here that you can use white outer finish, gray outer finish. Now, to be honest, I don't know if this supersedes this, because they're both telling you the same thing, but this one gets to specific wire sizes, number 6 and smaller. Same thing if you come down here, number 4 and larger. Now, the next time I run into an inspector, I am going to ask, because if you notice here, it says white outer finish, gray outer finish. That says that up here too. So 150 volts to ground. So how I always interpret it, and I could be wrong, but how I always interpret it is that I'm going to follow the 150 volts to ground is always going to be a continuous white for my basic conductors that are number 6 and smaller. And then I'm going to use the gray for 150 volts to ground. 150 volts to ground by continuous gray outer finish. So it's really interesting, but I would follow this particular. You can always you can still tag your ends with a white if you're not using all white wire or whatnot. It in the book itself, it does still state, and I'm on top of my head, I don't remember where it still states it, but it still states you can tag it at the ends of the wire. So if you're pulling a green wire or whatnot, and you ran out of something kind of color, you could tag the ends of the wire with black if that was like your hot for branch circuits. But specifically for the grounded conductor itself, because I know for a fact that you cannot use another neutral from another panel source. Everything has to derive from the same panel itself. So that's another key tip if you're getting into electrical or whatnot. You can't bring you can't utilize a neutral from panel 1A for a circuit that's in panel 1B. Everything has to derive from that one panel itself. But yeah, I believe that if you'll be okay if in Chicago itself, that if you follow these, you'll be perfectly fine. A lot of the electricians are gonna do it this way anyway, because that's how they were trained in Chicago. It's local 134. Yeah, so this is about it. I just wanted to do something very basic today. We're gonna jump back into it. These next couple weeks, we're gonna be jumping into more code, more advanced code, and yeah. So if you guys got any questions, comments, drop them. Like I said, I'm gonna be going through a lot of the comments. One of the viewers did ask if I can show him how to network, and if you're adding more circuits to a pipe, how do you do that? I want to make that video, but I want to make sure that I explain it right, because there is so much involved in that thought process, not just carrying 3 hots and a neutral and that's one network. There's a lot more theory behind that. And I'm going to try to make that video, and it might be lengthy, and I have to kind of sit there and gather all the information and make sure I'm not hopping around, so the viewer itself is not confused. So once again, Alfred Flores, CEO President of New Age Electric. Drop a comment, click subscribe. See you next time.